Welcome back to Suicide Fantasy Football live from the War Room. Now we're going to give you our NFC picks for the playoffs and wild card. Jim, I'm going to start this time.
Hit them up.
Of course, the NFC East, I'm going Eagles.
Yep. My Trevor Lawrence jersey.
The Cowboys may be a little bit better. The Redskins might be the surprise team in the NFC East.
With Gargamel playing quarterback?
I think it's going to be John Beck by week 4. Not that he's great, but I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, don't get me wrong, but I think it's going to end up being the Cowboys sucking again and falling apart. Their best offseason move was a defensive coordinator who I don't think's that great, most overrated coordinator.
He's the worst Ryan, I'll tell you that.
Every Giant, I think, is hurt, and I think the Redskins are just going to be better than people think. So I'm going Eagles, then I'm going Packers. We'll hear from idiot over here later, but Packers winning the NFC North. Then we've got the Falcons down there in the dirty South winning the NFC South, and then the Cardinals, same thing. Everybody sucks out west, and I think the Cardinals with Larry Fitzgerald finally getting a quarterback to just loft it up like Kevin Cobb so he can go out and catch 110 balls, win it in the NFC West.
All right, I agree with you with the Eagles, of course. And really not because I'm a homer, but because I think I really think the Giants are the second best team in the league. I'm a little scared of the Cowboys if they can put their young players together, but it's tough in the NFL to put young guys on there. They got 3 starters on the offensive line, young. Their secondary was horrible last year, and they didn't change anything. They're bringing Newman back and whatever else bum back there, so they're going to tear them apart. I got the Vikings winning the Central. I think the Packers fall short. I think they still make the playoffs, but I think that they win, and I got the Cardinals winning the West.
All right, so my wild cards are going to be the Saints from the South, and you ready? The Lions making the playoffs for the first time since the Rodney Peete Eagles days.
Yeah, 52-0 or whatever we did.
Yeah. So I think the Lions are going to surprise everybody. They're going to have, if they have a healthy quarterback, Javid Best, I hope he stays healthy, but I think they've got enough out of running backs that if they can just have healthy Matt Stafford, Calvin Johnson be the beast that he is, Pettigrew come along the way they expect him to, and I think he's going to, I think the defense carries them to the playoffs.
Bums.
Okay.
Bums. I got the Packers as my
Lee Chapman is a wild card. I mean, they look so good against the Saints. I don't know how you're down.
Well, because they celebrate that. Listen, I can't tell you exactly how it's going to happen. I don't know if Rodgers is going to get knocked out. He's got a mush Lindros head, so who knows if he gets hit hard. He misses 5 games.
Wouldn't it?
I'm not sure really how it's going to work out, but I just see them falling short. Do you know that in the past 10 years, in the NFC has had a different team in the Super Bowl? No team has been in the Super Bowl twice.
I don't have them in the Super
Bowl in the past
Bowl,
10 years. So I think that shows you that they fall down. So
listen, they won the Super Bowl last year with a ton of injuries, and if they have those guys back and healthy, I don't see how you don't think they're going to win the division.
It depends who gets injured. I think if Clay Matthews gets injured, their defense is destroyed and it goes through. But
he's not an injury-prone guy that you worry about.
I think they're 10-6, and I think the Vikings are 11-5. I think the Vikings have 1 game better than them. Okay. And I think the Falcons are going to be the other team that makes the playoffs in the NFC.
All right. Don't think you're crazy on any of your calls except the Packers. Even if you said the Packers were going to win and the Vikes were going to be in the wild card, I wouldn't be thinking you were crazy. But all right, so that's our picks. That's what we think about the NFC. Let's recap them, Jim. I've got Eagles, Packers, Falcons, Cards, Lions, and Saints is the wild card.
I have Eagles, Saints, Vikings, Cardinals, with the Packers and the Falcons as my 2 wild cards.
Tell us what you think. Jim at SuicideFantasySports.com, Eric at SuicideFantasySports.com. Check us out on Facebook, Suicide Fantasy Football, and Twitter, SFFcom. Also, a little bit of time left. Sign up, Suicide Fantasy Football. Join the revolution with the twist on fantasy football.